So I went to school in Jacksonville, Florida, to a university there, and I started smoking grass. Before then, I drank, sort of following in my father's footsteps, partying a lot. And then by the summer of my sophomore year there, I was doing hallucinogenics. You know what? I love the drugs. That's the truth. I love them because I was so uninhibited. I didn't have to think about who I was. I could just go with the experience. So, second year of college, I switched from being an art major to a drama major, and then made the decision after going to New York for a weekend, I should just move there and go to drama school. So I did, and got a job as an office manager of the Broadway play Hair. What a world. What a world. They were smoking grass and getting high in the office. But, you know, I'm in New York now. I got this job. It was incredible to me that I'm working for Hair during the day. I'm going to acting school at night. People are coming on to me, men, women. It just was opening up this whole new world. I just basically was busting down every sexual taboo that was possible, all in the name of experimentation. And all of the sexual encounters I had were high, when I was high. And I repeated that pattern for years and years and years. And finally, in December of 1979, I was at a friend's house to do laundry. They were not there at the time. It was around 5 o'clock. And I thought, ooh, I'll bet you they have some Coke in their desk drawer. I know that's where they have it. So I went in there, and then, lo and behold, there was a fresh little gram there of Coke, I thought. I'd just get a little buzz on for work. So I laid out 2 thick lines of this stuff and rolled up a bill and tooted that stuff up and thought, what's this been cut with? Ooh, I hope it isn't too much speed or something. I'll better do some more. So I laid out basically ½ a gram of this stuff. And then things started feeling weird, and I started feeling dizzy. I thought, oh, I'll just go in the spare bedroom here and grab a magazine and lay down. Ooh, I hope this didn't have, like, acid or something in it. So I laid down on that bed, and that's the last thing I remember in that room. What I had done was I had snorted ½ a gram of pure PCP. Now, I had done PCP back in New York, and I knew that it just took a teeny weeny bit, like from your baby thumbnail, for you to get really twisted. So here I'd snorted ½ a gram of this stuff, the pure stuff. Needless to say, it was enough to kill several people. And within a couple of minutes, a few minutes, after laying down, I was gone. Well, the guy came home right at that hour, and he had seen overdoses. He knew what was going on. He quickly called the paramedics. Fire department was literally a block away. They couldn't revive me. And so they got out the defibrillators, finally. My heart had frozen. And they got me going again. And then they whisked me over to the local hospital. But what happened for me on my end, the initial experience was a sense of coming to out of darkness and realizing I have left my body, I've died. Now, mind you, I didn't know I'd overdosed, you see. My body's sort of this opaque thing. I'm sort of floating through space. I'm coming into this presence of this white light. It was like life. That's the only way I could interpret it. I wasn't afraid. I felt absolutely safe. My body was, when I looked at it, it was almost kind of see-through, but I felt okay. And I thought, I've died, but I feel wonderful. This feels great. This is an incredible experience. And then I found myself focusing on this light that I was coming into the center of, that I was merging with, if you will. And the only thing I can say, because I was not a born-again Christian, but I thought, I think this is Jesus. I couldn't see anybody, but there was a personality in the presence of this light. It was white light, indescribable in its purity. And the other feelings that went with it were, I'm loved. I'm in the presence of love. There's no sense of time at all. and in the presence of knowledge. And I felt so good, so loved. And again, I just knew that this was Jesus. And he said, Johnathan, I want you to look at your life. And then every moment, every thought, every action, everything that I saw, beheld, did, I was living it. From the beginning all the way through until that present time. That's the only way I can describe it. I was living my life. No judgment on it, just this is your life. It's over. And I'm in his presence again, aware of that. And he said, Johnathan, what did you see? And I said, I just see negative, destructive choices my whole way. There's nothing good. All my thoughts, the suspicions, everything was negative. That's my life. And he said, all right. Then it faded away. It was like I fell out of his presence. And then I came to, and I'm tied down in the hospital bed. I've got wrist restraints on. And lo and behold, there's my brother and his wife. She's Christian, I know that. He's a new Christian. I knew that. And I began manifesting these other things. I felt this deep sort of voice coming out, starting to come through my body. And it starts, it's like another voice coming out, and I start saying, I am Jesus Christ, I am Jesus, and yelling out orders, and I'm yelling out every foul, unclean thing I ever did, just spewing out all of this dark stuff, and I can feel this voice taking over in me. My brother, meanwhile, is trying to push me back down. I'm sitting up in the hospital bed and straining. He's an ex-Marine. He said, I have never felt such strength in my life. And that was the power of the drug, that PCP can do. But there was also another power in me speaking out. I was so exhausted. I didn't have any concept of the time, but apparently this went on for like 3 days. About the third day at the county hospital, you're required if somebody can't answer a certain number of questions, they put you in the psychiatric ward. And my sister-in-law was trained as a counselor, and I flunked the test. I don't remember this quiz with the doctor. And he said, well, we have to put him in the psych ward. And she said, I know my rights as a family member. I'm not going to let you do that. And he said, he's not well. And they said, well, we know he's not going there. So they got me out of there, and I finally woke up in their bedroom. So it took about a week to be able to walk. My body was so spent, and they nursed me to health. And during that time, I shared with them this other experience I'd had with having my life shown to me. And my sister-in-law said, you know what? Maybe you'd like to meet other people that are Christians besides us. And they started taking me to churches, different kinds of churches. And then finally I went to one where there were young people that were raising their hands, and there was contemporary worship. And I felt something, I would say now, of course, in the spirit that was similar to the love I felt in that near-death experience. And as it turns out, a year to the day of the drug overdose, on December 14th, 1980, exactly a year later, I was baptized in the Pacific Ocean through that church.